We welcome you back to the Patrick Netherton Show right here on 1130 The Tiger. Always riding high here, and a guy that can't be any higher right now could be riding no higher than Ed Orgeron, coming off of a huge victory against Texas in Austin. An absolute clinic with the offense. It was amazing, and we're very pleased to welcome in Coach O to the Patrick Netherton Show. Coach, I got to say, man, you got to be incredibly pleased with what went down last week.
Well, I'm pleased with the offense, and I'm pleased with the win. We had a lot of things on defense in the second half that we didn't do well. And in order to get where we want to go, we have to fix it. And we're working hard this week on fixing it. The best thing is that we beat a very good team on the road and then play very well in one pace, and I know we can fix it.
And fixing things are a lot easier off a win, right?
No question. Yes, they are.
It's always easier. Coach, walk me through 3rd and 17, because Kirk Herbstreit is on the broadcast saying, "Oh, you gotta run here and force him to call that last timeout, and then you got to play conservative here." And yet you let Joe Burrow unleash it. What was the communication like with you, with Steve Ensminger, Joe Brady? What was that like leading up to that call?
Well, going for it, we only had 6 points. We felt that we needed to score a touchdown. We felt that we didn't want to give them the ball back with only a 6-point lead. They had been moving the ball on us. So we was going to go for it. We went for it that whole series, and 3rd down and 17. Steve called the right protection, called the right route. Joe Burrow made a tremendous play of stepping up in the pocket. Clyde Edwards-Helaire blocked the linebacker, blitzing up the middle. And then Justin made a tremendous catch, and then obviously scored with it yards after the catch. So just a great call. They blitzed. We had the right protection call. We had the right route called. It held up, and we won.
I'm curious, how much of what the quarterback work is during individual is throwing from an unstable platform, meaning you don't have your feet set, you're not in perfect rhythm, because that throw was as good as you could have expected, and he was in no way stable. He had to make kind of an odd move, over a defender and then unleash the ball sort of off balance. How much do y'all work on that with quarterbacks throwing from an unstable platform?
Well, I'd like to tell you we work on it a lot, but you got to give Joe about 98% of the credit. He's a tremendous athlete. He has a tremendous will to win. Now we go through the bags with pocket presence, and we practice a rush and all that. So we do that, but the guy's a phenomenal athlete and a phenomenal competitor.
You made this switch in the offseason, and of course, everyone took a wait-and-see attitude because we've heard this before. At what point in the offseason when you're practicing did it click for you that this is going to be an opportunity to have a really special offense?
One Saturday scrimmage in the spring, we completed 80% of our passes. And I said to myself, this is a very good defense. This is a very efficient offense. We're starting to get where we need to go. I felt confident after that day.
Talking to Ed Orgeron, head coach of the LSU Tigers. Coach, you were aggressive in that game. We mentioned 3rd and 17. You knew you needed more points. Where is that line for you between being aggressive like that and then maybe playing more conservatively if, say, the defense is holding them down? How do you determine when you need to be uber aggressive like that and when you maybe need to play a little bit more conservatively?
We, as a staff, we go through our game plan and we go through different scenarios. We call it the winning edge. And we go through scenarios on the field. What will we do? And we go into analytics. What the book says, go for it, punt, whatever, kick a field goal. And then we go through as a staff the day of the game. Say, hey, these are the situations that we may be in. This is what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? And of course, I always rely on Steve Ensminger. Steve's a trusted friend. I know he's going to make the right decision for the Tigers. Most of the time, we agree on it right away. Sometimes he may say, hey, man, I think we ought to do this. And most of the time, I go with him because I trust that he has a feel of the offense.
Speaking of Steve Ensminger, I don't think enough is made of his flexibility, and his ability to take a new offense and adopt a new offensive approach and make it his, because he's still calling most of the plays. This is his offense. Yeah. Do you think we maybe underestimate the flexibility of a guy that even as an older coach is still willing to be that flexible?
No question. Steve has no ego, and I believe he's so valuable to our staff. I wouldn't be doing this thing without him, and I told him that when I got the job. Steve's the general in there. Obviously, we have a new offense that Joe Brady brought in, the Saints passing offense, the Penn State RPOs. But that's what we wanted. He and I both wanted that, and he and Joe get along great. Steve has an open mind. I think he's doing a tremendous job of calling a new offense. He has the help of Joe up there. Joe sometimes may call a play. That's up to Steve. But those two work hand in hand. But, again, that was the plan going into hiring Joe Brady.
You mentioned the analytics and what they say. Have you always been an analytics guy, or is this something you've kind of adopted later as you've gone on?
No, the last couple of years it's come through, and a friend of mine calls says, I think you need to get this service. So the guy came over, and I have a consultant named George Munoz that does a tremendous job of analytics. So he studies it every week, and then he and I meet Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we come up with a game plan. We're going to go for it. We're going to kick it. It helped against Georgia. We went straight with the book against Georgia. I believe we went 5 4th-and-1s and made everything. We kept the drive alive. So it all depends on the game. Now, when we get in the course of the game, and the book may say one thing, but I feel another. So, you got to go. You got to feel it.
Talking to Ed Orgeron, head coach of the LSU Tigers. Coach, how important were the 4th-and-goal stops early on? I felt it set the tone in that game.
Unbelievable effort by defense. Great formation recognition. We knew he was going to run the sweep. When they got into formation, our players were calling it out. We had some tremendous individual efforts. I was just pleased with our team, but that's the grit, that's the toughness. We practice goal line twice a week, and we preach goal line stance is the difference maker, and it was.
A lot has been made about the whole AC thing in the visiting locker room. Is this getting overblown by us in the media?
No, hey, listen. Hey, I called a friend of mine at Louisiana Tech. He said, hey, baby, it was hot in the dressing room. And he said, we felt like we didn't have no air conditioning. So whether they had some or not, I don't know. That's not my job. My job is to prepare my team. So what I did is I called our guy, and I said, listen, make sure there's air in the locker room. Got some blowers. I don't know if he got an air conditioner or not. So when we got in there, it was okay. Was it great? No. Do I know if there was an air conditioning going on or not? I'm not going to go check that before a game. But I know that I always call, to find out what the locker room's like, what the field is like, what the turf is like. So if I hear something that may affect our preparation for a game, I'm going to fix it.
You mentioned talking to one of the coaches at Louisiana Tech, and Coach, I had every Division I head coach on from the state in the month of August, and they all to a man, when I talked about being in state, they talked about what a great job you've come in and done in a leadership role among the schools within states, especially when it comes to camps. And we know we had the whole camp controversy a couple of years ago with teams wanting to go into other states and hold camps and all that. What has been the priority for you in terms of marshaling the Louisiana coaches together and making sure that y'all are a cohesive unit when it comes to that?
First of all, having coached at Northwestern, having coached at McNeese, now at LSU, I realized, when we was at Northwestern and McNeese, I looked up to LSU. I always wanted to be there. I thought they were the flagship university of the state. They're the leaders. And I said, you know what? If I ever become head coach at LSU, I want us all to be together, run camps together, recruit together, have a unity about Louisiana. Obviously, these guys have done a tremendous job of keeping guys coming out and setting camp up. But, we do our camps together. A coach may call me, hey, Coach, you recruiting this player? You know what? I don't think I am. They'll get them. We want to keep our guys in Louisiana and give them a chance to get a great education, just like I got at Northwestern.
I would imagine also that it's got to be a bonus for you because there is a true flagship university in Louisiana. You go to Mississippi and there's a couple of SEC schools there. You go to Texas and there's high-level Division I's everywhere. I would imagine it's got to be good just in terms of the hierarchy that, there's LSU, and you can kind of set the standard that you want.
It is. You're in a position where you can do that. And but you know what? Being at LSU is a great chance to represent the state. great chance to touch the great people in Louisiana, and I plan on doing as much as I can.
Ed Orgeron, head coach of the LSU Tigers. All right, Coach, let's go back to your Northwestern State days. I want to talk about the maturation process of college, because we all went to college. We all either did crazy things in college or whatever, but we all matured. College is one of the great maturation processes of your life. Tell me what the difference between graduating Ed Orgeron and freshman Ed Orgeron, and kind of what you learned in the maturation process of college.
Well, first of all, it's the first time I've been away from home. I'm from South Louisiana. I went to Natchitoches. Those people welcomed me. I loved it up there, meeting new friends, doing different things, doing things that college people do. But, obviously as I got older, I really, really wanted to be the best football player I could at Northwestern my senior year. I felt like I had an excellent senior year. After 7 games, I broke my arm, and I didn't plan on that happening. Like all players, I thought I'd play pro football. I didn't make it, and the next day when I didn't make it, I wanted to start coaching. And I was really appreciative of the job that Coach Goodwin gave me. Then I started coaching, and Bill Johnson and John Thompson and I became very good friends. Those guys helped me get to McNeese State, to Arkansas, to Miami. They got me in the door in coaching, and I'm forever grateful for that.
And that's interesting because, as you know, Coach, coaching is a very I always hate using this word, but it's true. It's a bit of an incestuous business. Especially in the Southland, we see coaches go from one Southland school to another Southland school, but the relationships that you develop when you're coaching there are ones that last a lifetime. You mentioned Bill Johnson helps you out, and now you need a defensive line coach, and you call Bill Johnson, who's available. It's all those ties never end with coaching.
No, coaching is a brotherhood, and we're going to coach for. This is my 35th year of coaching. And I plan on coaching for at least till I'm 70. So I got about 12 more years left, and then I'll decide if I want to stop then. But through the course of a lifetime, you meet some great people. I always believed in treating people the right way, as you know, and I'm friends with most every people and everybody, and I just enjoy being around coaches and for Bill and JT and Sam. Sam gave me a great shot my senior year. The opportunity that they gave me, I'm very grateful for that.
Coach, you told this story to some of the Northwestern folks before, and I'd like you to tell it here for our listeners. About you went to LSU, that's where you wanted to go. That was your dream school. It didn't work out. You end up back at home. Tell us how you got from home and your dad and what you were doing to moving on to Northwestern State. Yeah,
well, I got homesick. Baton Rouge was far away from me, believe it or not, and so I went home, and I was discouraged, very discouraged, and the next day. I thought I was going to sleep a little late. My dad woke up at 6 o'clock, so let's go to work. And I was working in a construction company with my father, and I learned that I need to get my education. I need to continue to play football. And sometime in October, Bobby J called me, and he said, "Hey man, you want to come to Northwestern?" I said, "Hell yeah, where it's at, I'm coming." After 2 months of construction, I wanted to come, and Joe Raymond Peace and Don Guidry flew down, come meet my mom and dad. My mom and dad loved Joe Peace and Don Guidry, and AL called me on the phone. I went up there for a visit, and I got to thank Bobby. Bobby fought for me to get up there, and Coach Peace and then Coach Aldridge coached me, a good friend of mine, AL, and then Sam came, so it was the right thing. It was the right thing in my career. If I wasn't going to play football, I was going to be a coach. And those guys were tremendous coaches. They helped me get where I'm at today. Speaking of coaches, Billy Laird was one of your coaches, correct? Love Billy Laird. Excellent coach, first-class man. I'm curious, have you ever shared or obviously we lost Billy a couple of years ago, and Brad Laird, now his son, now the coach at Northwestern. Have you spent time with Brad sharing some of the things that you learned and maybe liked and respected about his dad? Always. And listen, when we had camps and we're working together, you just kind of going from drill to drill, and then you glance over and you see Brad. I always think it's Coach Laird. He looks just like him.
Yeah, he does.
So, I mean, yeah, I did. And you know, I know that Brad's proud of his daddy, and he knows how much I respected his father. I remember one time we went to Boise State, and it was the first time I flew in an airplane, and a big airplane. So we get up in the air, and Coach Laird had his 2-lane bluebonnet bowl on. We're like, man, that guy's a big-time coach, man. It was something else, man.
First time on a plane, you got your bluebonnet bowl on. Nothing wrong with that now. There's nothing wrong with that. Coach, just the last couple of things. Ed Orgeron, head coach of the LSU Tigers. Your son is now the quarterback at McNeese, and you coached at McNeese, obviously. Your other son also played at McNeese as well. What's your conversations like? Are you a dad? Are you a coach? Are you kind of a little bit of both when it comes to talking with Cody, since he is a starting QB?
Yeah, first of all, my dad first, and I'm very supportive. It's hard, me being away. I haven't seen him since August 1st. In fact, I'm going to see him Thursday night for the first time. Taking a plane to go to Lake Charles and have dinner with him because I miss him. But he's doing fine, and we talk 3 or 4 times a day. Cody's very talkative on the phone. He can take a play and dissect it, and we talk about it. And but I try to be a dad, not a coach, but I'm very supportive of him and sometimes motivate. You know, Cody went to McNeese as the 6th-string walk-on quarterback, and he earned himself a scholarship, and now is a starting quarterback. Sterling Gilbert is doing a phenomenal job at McNeese. I always thought that that would be a good fit for Parker and Cody. Parker's had 5 concussions. It's unfortunate that he can't play. He's a very good player. Now he's coming to school at LSU with us and will be a student assistant coach with me. Wants to be a coach. So Louisiana's been good to us, man. We're happy, and you know, Cody's right 2 hours down the road. We can touch him when we need to. Kelly's going to his game. His grandma goes to every one of his games, so he knows we're there.
Final thing, Coach, you face Northwestern State this week, obviously, where you got your degree, where you got your first coaching job. A lot of memories there. What I know when you get on the field, all of that, it gets pushed to the side, and it's about, you know, it's about winning the game. It's about business. But what does it mean to be able to face your alma mater at the school that you most wanted to be the coach at?
You know, very grateful of the opportunity. It reminds me how far we've come. Reminds me that there's been some adversity, there's been some ups and downs, but if you keep on fighting and believe in the good Lord, that you're going to get an opportunity in life. Very grateful to be the head coach at LSU, and I understand the magnitude of the job, what I represent, and the people who represent. But when we get on the field, it's going to be about LSU's standard of performance, and that's it.
Understandable, Coach. No one would take issue with that at all. And again, congrats on the great start to the season. And you know we pull for you like crazy, Coach O. You know we love you and certainly wish the best. And look forward to seeing you on the weekend, and certainly hope that y'all end up winning that national championship this year. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you all the great people in Natchitoches. Tell them I love them. Love Northwestern State University and the Demons. Go Tigers.
That was Ed Orgeron, head coach of the LSU Fighting Tigers. Man, great